To another edition of Blindside Reaction Talk TV, baby. I'm your number one favorite blind homie, man, Rico Richy. We got this video that we gonna get in y'all. It's by Rap Daily, and this I guess it's bringing us a little insight on what's going on currently with, the little Dirk. Uh, I don't even think you call it murder for hire case no more. So I think it's just I think really he's right now on like a Rico case. I believe. So one of his homies been caught up in something, during the court date over the week, over this past week, or this week, here. So we're gonna get into this video and see what's going on, y'all, right quick. Like, again, happy 4th of July to everyone. You feel me? Hope everybody have a great 4th of July weekend. Condolences to the young people that lost their life in Chicago, Savannah, Georgia, due to the tragic, shootings and things like that. So condolences to them people and their family. You know, today I didn't have anybody with me here to tell me if my camera is focused on me right or not. So if the camera ain't on me, if you guys don't see me or you can't see the video, just let me know in the comments or something like that. Just say I can't see you, or um, just say flip the camera or something like that. But I always like for you guys to hear what I hear whenever you do decide to drop comments.
Speech rate 75%. Speech rate 68%. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy. Welcome to live chat. Learn more. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy. More tools. Enable retouch. Disable camera. Mute microphone. Switch camera.
I wonder if I can
mute microphone. Disable camera. Enable retouch. Enable retouch. Green screen. More tools. Green screen. Mute mic. Switch camera.
I wonder if I can turn
Finish.
this
Top fans.
Turn this other stuff off my screen.
Switch camera. Mute microphone. Enable retouch. Green screen. More tools.
I removed that stuff, bro.
Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Learn more.
Well, anyway, I can't remove it right now, you guys. But it's two, like I say, two things I want you guys to let me know. If you can't see, please tell me to flip the screen. Let me know that in the comments if you can't see what's going on, what I'm about to, project to you guys at this moment. And another thing, I want you guys to tell me what is your, one of your favorite 4th of July meals or dishes or something like that. What you mostly everybody cooking on the grill. So what's your favorite grilled food? My top two is a grilled pork chop, and it got to be seasoned right, and you got to know how to cook it right if you're gonna cook it on the grill. You feel me? It's really on a few people I know that can really cook good pork chops on the grill, and that's who cooking I be sticking to on that pork chop shit. And another one is, bruh, I don't know about some of y'all out there, but I can't be the only one. I do like me a nice, hot dog on the grill that's, a little burnt, not completely black, but just a little, that grill burnt, just a little grill burnt. That's all. Ain't nothing to. Y'all know them grilled burnt hot dogs be the best hot dogs in the world, man. Don't act like that, bro. Y'all know that. Y'all know they be the ball. But hey, I'm gonna take this 4th of July. Damn, see, y'all can tell I've been taking shots already. But I'm gonna take this 4th of July shot with y'all. And we're gonna dig all up in the content, see what Chig's talking about. See what OTF Jam and Lil Dirt done count got going on. You feel me? So happy 4th of July to everybody. Make sure you traveling safe. If you listen to this, while you ride in the car or something like that, hey, just put me through the speakers, bro. Focus on the road, all right? You know what I'm saying? And whatever you guys choose to do, be safe. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy each other's company. Respect each other. Because that's something very hard. Why it's so hard for y'all y'all be want respect, but you don't want to give respect. I don't be understanding that. So let's try to respect one another. You feel me? And enjoy each other's company. Be blessings, to each other. You feel me? So salud. Let's go. Shit, I almost did it again, y'all. Yeah, I like to put mine to the rim. I don't know about nobody else, but I like mine to the rim, to the tippity top of the top. You feel me? Yep. Shout out to Tequila. Tequila all day. Y'all, they gonna sponsor me one day. I just got that feeling somebody in Tequila gonna sponsor me one day, y'all. Y'all know what we gonna do. That's when I'm gonna have these, have certain people come on, that I know with businesses and things like that, are people who have great stories, and we gonna chill in the Lions Den right here on Blindside Reaction Talk TV and drink some tequila and talk, chop it up, you know. You feel me? But that's further on down the road, y'all. Cause I got the feeling tequila is definitely gonna sponsor, boy. And shout out tequila. It don't matter which one you drink, as long as you drinking one of them, baby. You feel me? So we about to see what chicks talking about here. You know, and I'm gonna take me some more shots while y'all take y'all some more shots and stuff. But if y'all can't see what's going on in the screen, just make sure you put in the comments for me to flip the camera or something like that. Please do that for me. I thank you to all my new subscribers, those that continue to, subscribe to my channel and everything like that. I really appreciate the support. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers right now, so you guys please continue to hit that subscribe button. If you don't mind, it don't take a lot of your time. Please hit that like button too. Alright, y'all, let's get into some fun.
It's 2 years. From 22 to 24. OTF Jam wore a wire and snitched on Lil Durk to the feds, and now it's coming back to bite him. Word is he was just attacked in court by someone allegedly named Durk's crew right after he took the stand. And the craziest part, OTF Jam might not be the only one flipping. I've got all the details about the courtroom attack, the snitching, and who else might be next. Let's get into it. Durk's fall off. In the middle of a tense federal courtroom in Los Angeles, OTF Jam, longtime associate of Lil Durk and a man whose loyalty was never supposed to be questioned, was suddenly violent.
Y'all know something though, bro? Some of these rappers, bro, they need to take responsibility for some of their own damn actions, bro. Because it's their music, bro. It's really their if they learn how to write their music or have somebody, help them edit their music or something like that, dude. Like they wouldn't be getting indictments and shit like that, y'all. I'm just being honest. You feel me? So some of these rappers, bro, they're the reason why their camps, despite what's going on outside in the streets and all that, they talking about what their camps are doing in the streets. You feel me? In their music. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't YFN Lucci music that got him in trouble, bro. It was the shit he allegedly got caught on film doing or something like that. It wasn't his music. It was mostly Young Thug music that got him indicted, bro. You know what I'm saying? And they don't want to acknowledge this shit, bro. They don't want to acknowledge that, well, if I wasn't talking about certain things in my music, the ball wouldn't have been rolling, like the feds wouldn't have been looking at us or at least, somebody like Lil Durk or Young Thug wouldn't have been, the face of these indictments and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Because the feds probably would have took it as they had no idea what was going on because they dealing with their music. You feel me? But because they putting it in their music, bro, they are actually responsible for a lot of their camps being targeted and things like that by the feds, bro. And I mean guys like Lil Durk and Young Thugs, bro. They are responsible. They take part responsibility in that, bro, because of their music. And if apparently a lot of what they're saying in their music, the feds find to be true, and there's a lot of documentations out there about some of the things that Lil Durk and Young Thug been saying in their music that has come to be true. You know what I'm saying? Even though Young Thug got off he got off a lot of higher charges that kept him from doing life in prison off the Rico, but he ain't beat the Rico. You know what I'm saying? So, rappers, y'all better learn. Y'all want the feds to stay off y'all behind? Bruh, stop acknowledging so much of what your teams are doing in the streets, bruh.
Eyewitnesses say it wasn't just a scuffle, it was a full-on ambush, right there during sworn testimony that allegedly implicated Durk in a chilling murder-for-hire plot. People were screaming, lawyers ducked. One of the courtroom deputies had to draw their weapon. And why? Because Jam wasn't just talking, he was telling. And according to insiders, The moment he said Lil Durk's name, the courtroom shifted. That was the moment everyone knew it was on. But let me be clear, this wasn't just some random street beef spilling into a courtroom. No, this was the collapse of something sacred in street culture, the code of silence. The don't switch, don't fold, don't talk rule that built OTF's empire is now being violated from the inside. And the man doing it, he might have been wearing a hidden wire this whole time. And here's the craziest part. The government knew. They were ready for it. They didn't stop it. Let's rewind, because before the attack, before the shouting, the deputies, and the chaos, there was only silence. The kind of tense, sticky silence.
This is what happened, conflict of interest too, bro. Because they so focused on jam telling. But if you smart enough and you know what happened after King Von passed away with the case they had in Atlanta, Lil Durk told on King Von to get himself out of that case, bro. Lil Durk actually snitched. He did a Terrence Gangsta Williams, bro. He snitched on it. He did a T.I. legend. He told on his dead homie to be the charge, bro. And no, they ain't no. Come on, man. They pick and choose who they want to put the snitch tag on. What if my personal opinion, bro, I actually believe because of the charges he was facing with King Von, bro, there's no way both of them would have got off them charges, bro. One of them was gonna have to take them charges. So look, after Von died, that was Durk's opportunity to put all that shit on Von, man. So yeah, basically he snitched on Von to get out them troubles, bro. Like he snitched on Von to get out them troubles. Bro. I don't care no more. Y'all gotta stop putting, you know, if you gonna put a snitch jacket on somebody, you can't pick and choose who you gonna do it for. Y'all gotta be fair on that now.
Lingers and everyone in the room knows something.
You know, I don't give a damn who snitched. I ain't give y'all reason to tell on me.
At the center of it, Jamarius Wilson, better known in the streets as OTF Jam, a name once synonymous with loyalty, a soldier in the trenches with Durk since the early days, a man who never posted, never rapped, but always moved when the crew needed him, until now. OTF Jam had been arrested months earlier on weapons charges, but that was only the surface. What wasn't clear until recently is that Jam had been quietly cooperating with the feds from the moment his cuffs were clipped. And on the day he took the stand, he allegedly began unraveling a criminal web that linked cash payments, interstate flights, burner phones, and yes, Durk himself, to a conspiracy that federal prosecutors have been trying to crack for years. This isn't a drill. This is the same courtroom where prosecutors have begun laying the groundwork for a Rico-style takedown of Durk's entire inner circle. Why? Because they believe OTF isn't just a label, it's a gang, a criminal enterprise that uses music as a cover for violence. And now they have someone that's...
And if you listen to Durk, he also mentioned in his music, OTF is gang. What them youngin be saying? Gang. You know, that what Lil Durk say. They gang. Shout out my nigga Booker. Come on, man. Like bruh. DD. See, he implicated all these guys' name as gang members, bruh. He didn't implicate these guys as OTF record label members, bruh. He opened the door for that, bruh. Durk opened the door for that, bruh. Like, and I think that would piss Jam off. I think Jam got pissed off because he got caught up in something that Lil Durk started. Lil Durk started this. You feel me? Even though Lil Durk helped Jam get it home and all that, after all that stuff happened with his baby mama, Jam, I think with my opinion, y'all, I think Jam felt like seriously Lil Durk or OTF had something to do with the unaliving of his baby mama in Chicago. Y'all remember the post office lady? Her. Like, I believe he feel like, or he knows that somebody at OTF did that. Whether that was on Lil Durk call or not, he believes, and I truly think that he believes that OTF had something to do with that.
Jam's testimony was reportedly focused on a 2022 shooting tied to the revenge killing of rapper Lay Capone's cousin. But as he began describing how hotel rooms were booked, how guns were stashed, and most damningly, how money allegedly flowed directly from Durk's team to those on the ground, the courtroom erupted. It's unclear who struck first. Some say it was a co-defendant's cousin who leapt from the back row and lunged over the barrier. Others say it was a coded look from Durk's lawyer that set the whole thing off. But what's certain is this. Jam was rushed, restrained, and removed under armed guard. And as of this recording, he hasn't been seen in public since. Why does this matter? Because it confirms what so many in the Chicago rap scene have only whispered about. OTF is leaking from the inside. People are flipping, people are talking, and the code of silence that protected Dirt for over a decade is now in flames. And it gets worse, because if Jam wasn't attacked over what he said, then it was about what he was about to say. According to legal analysts, Jam had only made it through a fraction of the questions before chaos shut everything down. That means there's more, much more, he hasn't said yet. And now it might come out in sealed documents instead of open court. But let's back up and answer the obvious question. How did we get here? To understand the pressure Lil Durk is under, you have to go back, not just to 2022, but to the 1990s. That's when his father, Dante Banks Sr., was arrested for his role in an $8 million cocaine deal.
Lil Durk's dad was arrested in 1993 after being caught up in a cocaine distribution ring.
In 1994, he was sentenced to life in federal prison. And it wasn't just the arrest that shaped Durk's future, it was the mindset.
I hate rats. I hate rats.
That code, no cooperation, no talking, became law in OTF. But now, that very code is being...
Shit.
And that brings us back to Jam, the man who many now say turned...
He hate rats, but he told on his mans though. Come on, man. You hate rats, but you told on your mans though. You feel me? And you basically, bro, you basically slick told on yourself in that DJ Academics video, bro. And you act like the feds dumb or something, bro. That's the thing, bro. They be acting like they be acting like the feds don't be knowing what be going on, like as far as in like, you know, street terminology, bro. Like as far as in like, you know, like, hey, bro, let me get a oath. You don't think the fed know you talking about an ounce? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, bro, let me get a 28. Bro, they like, come on, bro, let me get a L. You know, bro, they know. So when you try to, I don't know, I guess it's something in the water. Bro, they know what you mean, bro. Like they knew what he mean the whole time in that DJ Academics video. Now, can they prove that? That's a different understanding. That's a different conversation. But you know, common sense tell them, oh yeah, we know what you mean, bro. We know what you're talking about. You know, we got certain stuff to back this up, the note to let you know what you're talking about. We just trying to show you that we know you were involved. So I don't really think the people who's OTF on the outside, you know, who's not a part of this arrest with Lil Durk and the rest of the other OTF members that are incarcerated right now, I don't think he has much to worry about with the ones that's not arrested. I think the ones that can hurt him the most are the ones that's locked up with him. You feel me? Everybody there always talking about how some of the OTF members making him look bad right now. I guess because Lil Durk in prison, but he ain't got, honestly, because they OTF brand or they got OTF on their name, it flies on Lil Durk the same way the feds feel about guys who claiming gangster disciple. It falls on the feds still want all that to fall on Larry Hoover, which they need to let that man go, leave that man alone. You know what I'm saying? But because of them having OTF tied to their name, the feds look at it as like, you know, they're Lil Durk followers. They not just label mates. They like his street team type thing, you know?
Multiple voices online have already accused him.
I don't have no clue if OTF Jam will wire on Lil Durk. OTF DD is an informant.
Somebody named OTF Jam, they said they've been calling him a rat.
Man, you feed a nigga for 12 years, he come home with a wire?
Even Tay Capone weighed in on the rumors swirling around Jam's role in the case.
Now been in-house, little weird shit going on with Jam. Jam been booked for a fight, he had disappeared out the system, be back in the system.
That's not just suspicious. That's federal level witness protection energy. And what makes this even more damning is the money trail. At the center of the case is the allegation that Durk blessed Jam with $50,000. That blessing is now being reinterpreted by prosecutors as payment.
He got caught with a switch.
and they're telling me he's
My name is Adam Ferrari, Sir Phoenix Energy. I look forward to you joining.
the one saying the 50 I got paid was for that.
And the feds, they're not playing anymore.
You give your statement and you agree to cooperate, you're getting on that goddamn stand and you're saying exactly what you wrote down. Or else you're gonna do life in prison.
This is just the beginning of how Jam's.
Yeah, cause if OTF Jam really did snitch on Lil Durk or was wearing a wire or anything like that, that you know a lot of people expected or suspected or whatever like that, then yeah, bro, he definitely gonna have to admit that on the stand, or he will be. He's more than likely gonna end up. I don't want to say he's gonna do life in jail, but he's definitely gonna do some time in prison.
His cooperation has blown the OTF case wide open. Now let's talk about the real reason Jam flipped. Because whether or not he walked in wearing a wire, one thing is certain: OTF is unraveled, and the first thread to snap wasn't Jam. It was OTF DD.
He is clearly named in the indictment as a co-conspirator. Okay, he is clearly one of the shooters on the scene, but when they actually talk about the crime, his name disappeared.
DD, according to transcripts and insiders, was one of the shooters. But when the crime is
Now that's what Buddy just said. With DD name being in certain documents and then the other document his name not there. Okay, so we honestly, that don't necessarily mean he's snitching. He could be searching for some type of deal or waiting for his lawyers to do certain type of motions or something like that. You know, I ain't perfect with that shit. I ain't have to never go through none of that stuff. Thank God. You know what I'm saying? But just from looking at previous cases, studying some of the stuff of how some of it worked. Not saying I got complete knowledge. I'm just saying, like, I don't think that definitely implies that DD, you know, snitched on Lil Durk or told on Lil Durk or anything like that as of yet. You know, but those guys who have those type of experience with those type of things, like Buddy just said, like he seemed very affirmative about his statement, you know, about Didi. So if that's how he feels, you know, who am I to knock him, bro? He could be right. You know what I'm saying? He could be right. But on the other hand, no matter how you look at it, whether you believe Didi told on Lil Durk or not right now, like, it is kind of suspicious.
He gets scrubbed clean, replaced with an unnamed co-conspirator. That only happens for one reason. The government is protecting their informant. And once he flipped, it sent a signal. It's open season inside OTF. Loyalty is dead. It's every man for himself. Black 100 laid it out plain. If Lil Durk doesn't get ahead of this, he's cooked. Think about that. The same Durk who built an entire empire off of never speaking, of letting the music do the talking, now faces a terrifying choice. Speak or sing. And the people flipping on him, some of them ain't even that close to him.
They're definitely gonna tell. And they don't even have strong ties with Durk.
That's what makes it more dangerous. These aren't brothers flipping on the code. They're foot soldiers trying to dodge a life sentence.
One of them is definitely gonna tell, bro. One of them is somebody that don't want to, bro. One of them don't want to do life for the unaliving of Lil Pop, bro, for Lil Durk. One of them is definitely gonna tell. Probably at least two, because it looks like it's about 6 or 7 of them guys. So at least 2 of them guys, I believe, is definitely gonna say something. Possibly 3. Y'all know how they be playing. What's that card game that make black people go crazy, bro? You feel me? Spade. You know how they be playing Spade, bro? They be like, call them out. What you got? Man, shoot, I got 2 on a possum. That's what it is. That's what it is with Lil Durk, bro. You got 2 on a possum that probably gonna snitch on him, bro. Like, for real, for real. Cause it's too many of them. And then it ain't no telling if Lil Durk completely involved. It ain't no telling who all, you know, he sent information to or talked to. Just because they don't happen in Texas don't mean these guys ain't talk face to face, bro, about certain things. Okay, so that's smart. You feel me? But if Lil Durk talked to any of those little guys, you know, in a formal conversation about anything, and they mention that, to the feds, then yeah, they're gonna have to mention that on stand during the trial too as well. So we gonna see, bro. If it is OTF Jam, bro, and they did jump on OTF Jam, well, they should jump on DD too. Shoot, don't just jump on Jam, jump on DD too. Y'all, they picking and choosing who they gonna jump on, bro. Like, that's crazy.
Nothing, and the government is counting it. According to Vlad and WAC 100, the prosecution's entire case is built on these guys cooperating. And if even half of them follow through, that's more than enough to bury Dirk under a federal indictment for life.
If they all become Sammy the Bull, I don't see how Dirk can get out of this.
Let's not
Ain't
gloss
no way
over
he can get
that.
out of
Sammy the Bull flipped on the Gambino family and took down John Gotti. That's the kind of energy these courtrooms are now working with. Not Dirk is tired.
All these things, and they might have been here because he had something to
Matters, Dirk wasn't in the car. What matters is if the feds can create a narrative.
Steve Bano. Welcome to Live Chat. Expect so. Hi.
What's up? What's up? Thank you for joining the chat.
What we saw wasn't just courtroom drama. It was
If you can't see the video, because I didn't have anybody here with me to make sure my screen was right, just let me know to flip the camera if you can't see what's going on, please. But I appreciate you guys for participating in the video. Please comment in the chat. Please hit that like. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe for your boy.
the last-ditch effort of the Brotherhood trying to stop its own collapse in real time. According to legal analysts, the defense will now demand Jam's testimony be tossed because the courtroom is compromised. But the prosecution, they've already got what they needed. And more importantly, they might have orchestrated this moment to expose how far the OTF circle will go to silence people. And that opens the door to something far worse, a witness intimidation enhancement, which means longer sentences, more leverage for plea deals, and more fear for anyone else still considering testifying. See, Jam may not have broken the code on his own.
rat. And basically he said, okay, I'm a rat. Good, watch this.
So many times, he might as well own it. And now the internet's in a frenzy. Every post,
So basically what they trying to say right there, about OTF Jam is that because he kept hearing people calling him or people calling him a snitch or telling on Dirk or whatever, they basically trying to say he just basically got tired of it, and allegedly, he started telling or whatever.
through Dirk hashtag. But here's the part no one wants to admit. Dirk might not walk away from this one. Because even though prosecutors removed the original payment paragraph from the indictment, which claimed Dirk ordered a hit by wiring money, it's not because they'll get it up.
Paragraph 9 from the original indictment has been removed.
Black explains it clearly. They dropped that section because the witness testimony wasn't lining up. But now with Jam, that testimony may finally stick. And the other part of the game, stacking charges. They've already added stalking resulting in death to the indictment, which, if you didn't know, is a charge often used in murder for hire plots when direct payment can't be proven. It still carries.
So if he get charged for stalking, or like if they found him guilty of stalking, they might be able to go back and charge him for the murder for hire of, Quando Rondo with the execution of Lil Pal, bro. Like if that's how it go from what he's saying, bro, like, man, ain't that y'all crazy, bro? Like he could still end up getting charged for the murder for hire and still end up possibly having to fight the death penalty. You know what I'm saying? Just because they changed it, don't mean they won't go back and change it again. It's the feds; they can go back and change that as many times as they want. You feel me? They got 7 years or something like that to do what they want to do with this entire case. They got a long time, bro. They can keep him in there. They can keep Lil Dirk in prison or jail, wherever he incarcerated, however you want to put it. They can keep him in there until they exhaust all their information, bro. And ain't no telling how long that would take. They can keep him there for long as he want, as long as they want, bro.
In prison. So no, Dirk doesn't get to breathe easy just because one piece of the case fell apart. As
Drew
Brad
Finley,
said,
a damn good
People
lawyer.
to say Dirk put us up to this, and their stories are consistent, then Dirk is cooked.
And if those statements are coming from Jam, BD, or whoever flips next, it might not matter how many lawyers Dirk has, or how many hits he dropped, or how many people still scream free the voice, because the courtroom doesn't care who you are. It only cares about what it can prove, and what others are willing to say under oath. And the irony, the very loyalty Dirk built his empire on, might be the one thing that dooms him. Because while his co-defendants start talking, taking deals, reducing sentences, Dirk, he's still silent.
He's not gonna say anything.
And the jury, you better believe they notice. OTF Jam's exile. Before the blood.
That is true though. I don't believe Lil Durk gonna say nothing, bro. I don't think he gonna say anything, bro. Like, shoot. Cause in the back of his mind, I bet he in there like, at some point, bro, he was in the thing like, damn, I said too much in my music, bro. Like, he got to be saying that to himself at some point, bro. And like, damn, I let these niggas get me into this, bro. Like, you know, but I definitely don't believe he's gonna, if his image to the public is him not being a rat or a snitch or whatever like that, then yeah, he's gonna do whatever he can to hold on to that. You know what I'm saying? Or he's gonna make sure Drew Finland gets the Fed in some type of document to make sure that shit don't ever come out that he did that. Because that's what it seemed like they did in the Atlanta case with him and Vaughn. That's what it seemed like. It seemed like they got some type of, it's something in that case sealed. Whether it's about Lil Durk or whatever like that, it's something in that case sealed, bro. Which we probably won't find out if he actually threw everything on King Von or not. You feel me? But from you know, a street perspective, you know, and I ain't the best streetologist or whatever like that, but it definitely looked like he threw everything on King Von at that moment. But at this instance right here, I don't think he's gonna tell on them guys, man. I don't think he's gonna say anything to implicate them guys in anything. I think it's more gonna be them telling on him. You feel me? Like, you know, because Lil Durk is trying to, like I said, he's trying to keep up this image that he's not a rat. You know, and if he do that, and the people find out, his fans find out, it's gonna tarnish his image. It's gonna humiliate him. It's gonna, let's say he end up beating us and he get out, you know, without snitching. That's gonna help him. That's gonna help him boom record sales, you know. But if he don't, and the people find out he end up telling, and they know that's something he was completely against, oh yeah, it's gonna be a lot of people in the industry that's gonna throw shade on him. But I bet you him and Gunna gonna make a banger. Bro, y'all, bro, hey, Gunna, do your thing, bro. Do your thing, Gunna.
OTF Jam was already bleeding, not physically, but socially. He had already been cut off, exiled, labeled, and most dangerous of all, exposed. See, the streets have been whispering for months. People were noticing things. Jam getting picked up, then disappearing. No mugshots, no press releases. And then suddenly, he's back. Quiet, nervous, different.
Jam been booked for a fight, he had disappeared out the system, be back in the system, then it be like, it was little weird shit going on.
And in the streets of Chicago, that kind of weird means only one thing. You working with them people. So when Jam walked into that courtroom, his testimony wasn't the real surprise. The real surprise was that he had survived long enough to do it. Because according to insiders, Jam was already being watched. Not by law enforcement, but by the very same people he used to roll with. People who had questions, people who wanted answers. And by the time he was sworn in, he wasn't OTF anymore. He was prey. This is what makes the attack during his testimony so chilling. It wasn't spontaneous. It wasn't emotional. It was calculated. Witnesses say the courtroom felt tense from the moment Jam took the stand. Every look, every shift, every breath had weight. Then came the moment. He started naming names, quietly at first. Payments, movements, flights, connections. Then he paused. And just as he was about to continue, someone jumped the barrier. It was chaos. Court officers tackled the attacker. Jam was rushed out, reportedly with a cut near his eye. Whether it was a shank, a ring, or bare fists, no one knows. But what everyone agrees on, it was intentional. The timing, the target, the message, don't talk. And yet, he already had. The damage is done. The seal is broken. But how did it get this far? That takes us to the interrogation room months before the attack. That's where Jam, under pressure from a lewd and gun charge, was allegedly presented with a deal. Not a light one, a surgical one. According to courtroom sources, the feds had been waiting for someone like Jam to crack. Not because he was high up, but because he was connected enough to know what happened and expendable enough to flip.
They will intentionally arrest certain people that they think may know certain things that will strengthen their case towards the ones they really want. Because
No, I ain't gonna tell y'all no story, bro. I take anything and everything that Whack 100 say with I don't even want to say a grain of salt, bro, but a pinch of dirt. You feel me? I don't. Whack 100 to me is just one of those old weirdos. You know what I'm saying? Like I never seen some of these older dudes right now, bro, in they mid-50s and shit, bro, early 50s, and bro, I've never seen, men that age act like how some of these dudes act, bro. Like some of these old ass dudes still be trying to live like they're their son ages and shit, 21, 25, 30 and shit, bro. I be like, these dudes weird, bro. And Wack just fit that mold for me. Like, it's like he tried too much to appeal to the younger audience, bro, instead of trying to generate content for people more, his age style. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just weird stuff. Maybe it's just your number one.
Instead of breaking, that's when the deal started moving. Flights, cooperation, testimony, and then $50,000. An infamous blessing Dirk allegedly gave to Jam, which was once a flex. Now we bring it as evidence.
now, what about this guy who allegedly got caught with a switch, who Dirk told the world that he blessed him with 50 grand
OTF Jam.
as a homie, like it wasn't a secret. I believe if Dirk was giving him 50 grand to commit a criminal act, he wouldn't have told the world, right?
Right.
They're telling me he was actually in Los Angeles.
That's the problem. Because when you brag about
You see what Wack was doing, bro?
$50K,
Look what Wack was doing, bro. Like, I don't know if y'all see it the way and it's just from my blind side of the y'all. You feel me? But to me, it's like Wack trying to put this picture of Lil Durk telling OTF Jam what to do. OTF Jam gets mad at Lil Durk for some odd reason, and then he ends up telling. You feel me? Like he wants you to think that Jam is mad or upset or he's telling for no reason, bro. It's for somebody like Jam to tell, bro, it's something that has happened, and I'm pretty sure it has much to do with what happened to his baby mama, bro. I'm pretty sure it has something to do with that.
and that person ends up testifying against you. You just gave the feds their headline. And the feds, they're weaponizing the optics. Dirk's lyrics, money movements, co-defendants, and public associations have all been restructured into a criminal timeline. They claim Dirk used his music business as a front, moving shooters under the guise of performances and appearances. And while some charges have been stripped, like the now removed murder for hire payment paragraph, others have been stacked right back on, including the deadly stalking resulting in death enhancement.
Everyone's focusing on the stalking resulting in death charge, which honestly is sort of a weird charge because that's all, it's all part of the murder for hire anyway. So the fact they're stalking on the way to the murder for hire is still a murder for hire.
This charge is no small technicality. It's how prosecutors take
I agree with Blindside.
rapid federal language.
I think everything he say with brain of dirt.
But let's go deeper, because there's one person who could possibly keep Dirk out of that grave. His lead attorney, Drew Finnegan.
Drew is a outstanding lawyer. Outstanding. He got YFN Lucci a great deal. He got NBA Youngboy a great deal.
And now he's got Dirk. But even Drew can't stop what's coming if Dirk won't talk. That's the elephant in the room. Dirk's silence. To the fans, it's...
Yeah, bro. It was no... When Drew did what he did for Youngboy and YFN Lucci, it was no need for them two fellas to talk. They didn't have no need, no reason, no... It was no need for them to tell on anybody. You know what I'm saying? They just had to let Drew Finnegan do what Drew Finnegan do. And Drew Finnegan is a great lawyer, not just in the state of Georgia, but across the country. You know what I'm saying? Drew feeling that. Drew feeling, Brian Steele, um, the guy that was Yak Gotti attorney and Keith Adams, bro. Them some of the top lawyers, not just in the state of Georgia, bro, but perhaps in the entire country. In my blindside opinion, y'all. You feel me? But I don't think it's gonna be anything Drew feeling to do for Lil Durk unless Lil Durk actually he really gonna have to give up something. Possibly, it's possible he gonna have to give up something, bro. It's probably because the feds, they're so, and they crooked as hell, true, but they want Lil Durk so bad, bro. They willing to do whatever they got to do to make sure he stay in jail, bro. They trying to make sure Lil Durk get more than 15 years. And the only way Lil Durk gonna get under 15 years, if he don't want to do the time his father done, he gonna have to say something at some point. He hasn't yet, but look, Drew Finley hasn't. He has been doing a great job for Lil Durk. You know, even though he couldn't get him a bond, he still has been doing a great job for him. But I just think that, you know, if Lil Durk don't say anything or, you know, do anything to help himself by giving up some type of information, because they got a lot of him. You know, they already got the dudes that spoke on him allegedly in Chicago due to a few, you know, unalivings, you know, in Chicago. So, you know, it's a lot that his name been implicated in. You feel me? So it's gonna be real hard for Lil Durk to fight this without saying that, because his name is being implicated in too many murders, man.
To the streets, it's principle, but to the jury, it looks like guilt.
There is a basic assumption with every jury that if you do not take the stand on your own behalf,
you're guilty. And it doesn't help that prosecutors are stacking OTF Jam's photos and lyrics as evidence of a criminal organization. Let that sink in. What once was a movement is now evidence. So where does this leave Durk? Alone. Because while he stays quiet, OTF is caving from within. People are cutting deals, timelines are shifting, stories are aligning, and the rumors won't stop. Even bloggers like King Yella have jumped into the fray.
Rat, and basically he's saying, okay, I'm a rat. Hey, watch this.
There's no more debate. The walls are closing in. And while Durk hasn't been convicted of anything yet, the court of public opinion is already deliberating. The only thing that can change this? A surprise. A collapse in the prosecution's narrative. A withdrawal of testimony. A public reversal. But that's not likely, because the feds, they don't miss. When they bring charges this heavy, they only do it when they got someone on the inside, and thanks to Jam, they do. Courtroom chaos. When OTF Jam took
the feds don't miss. Sheesh. They miss with Diddy. Y'all didn't they miss, bruh, look. They miss with Diddy like a mug, bruh. They miss with Diddy now. Let's be real. But let me see what y'all got going on in the comments.
Welcome to Live Chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community. Steve Banno, happy made up holiday by humans.
For real.
Expect so. Hi. Steve Banno, happy made up holiday by humans.
Hey, I'm gonna use that one, bro. Happy holiday made up by humans. I'm gonna use that one, bro.
He didn't just put Lil Durk on trial. He put an entire era on life support. Because what we're witnessing now isn't just the legal dismantling of a rap group. It's the cultural implosion of a movement that defined an entire generation of street music, drill music, Chicago, OTF, 300, all of it. It's not just collapsing, it's being disassembled in court.
And y'all, man, and your number one favorite blind homie opinion, bro. Drill music is probably the worst genre of music they ever could have produced, bro. Just think about all the many. We probably lost more rappers to drill music in the past, what, 10 years, 13 years, 15 years, something like that, compared to any other genre in rap history, bro. There's been more rappers to die due to drill music than any other hip hop genre, bro. Like the drill genre, bro, is the worst genre hip hop music that they could have ever came up with, man. And that's just from my blind side opinion, y'all. You know, I know there's a lot of people out there that like that type of stuff, bro. But to me, you know, I mean, it benefits no one, bro. It benefits no one. It don't benefit the culture. You know, it's just teaching the kids to take each other out, bro. Like the drill genre, you know, to me is the worst genre of hip hop, rap, whatever you want to call it. Period, man.
For the first time, we're seeing it in real time. Labels backing away, blogs deleting posts, DJs hesitating to spin Dirk's latest song, promoters ghosting OTF affiliated artists, and the worst part, it's not even about guilt or innocence anymore. It's about optics. Because when headlines say snitching in OTF, Rico building, $50K hit payments, and federal testimony interrupted by violence, no brand wants to stand next to that. Those words from Tay Capone hit harder than any bar Dirk ever spit. Because this ain't just about one man losing his freedom. It's about a culture losing its cornerstone. Let's be real. Lil Durk is the face of modern drill. He took it mainstream and made it commercial. He gave features to up-and-coming artists and put entire blocks on the map.
I wouldn't say Dirk took drill to mainstream. I would say that was Chief Keef. I would say Chief Keef. And I wouldn't just label Dirk as like a drill rapper. I wouldn't just label King Von was more of a drill rapper than Lil Durk. I wouldn't just put Lil Durk, you know, as a drill rapper. You feel me? Like he didn't rap a lot. I don't really, maybe in his earlier years, you know, he probably rapped on drill beats, but anything he's done in the past, I want to say about 2018, was not drill beats, bro. And so I wouldn't actually call Lil Durk a drill rapper. I would just say his lyrics, you know, his lyrics just put him in some trouble. That's all. I wouldn't even say he got drill lyrics, bro, because he's more in the genre like a Lucci, a Future, a Young Thug, you know, a Gunna, you know, that type of style. You know what I'm saying? Even though to me, they got different acoustic styles and melodies and things like that, but I put him in that brain, you know, to put him with like King Von and, you know, like, man, long live all these guys, man. Like long live King Von, Pop Smoke, Julio Fulio, you know, those guys was more like drill rappers to me. You know what I'm saying? Juice WRLD, I wouldn't even say Juice WRLD was a drill rapper. So definitely not Lil Durk. So I don't agree with him saying Lil Durk is the face of drill rap or nothing like that.
The same OTF chain that gave you status might get you subpoenaed because the feds aren't just looking at Dirk. They're looking at the infrastructure, the money trail, the associates, the feature, the show, every payment, every travel itinerary, every lyric. They want to turn this into another YSL-style domino collapse, and they're off to a strong start. But what makes this case different? OTF is not standing tall. People are flipping. Stories are changing. Allegiances are crumbling. Even the blogs are saying it out loud.
If somebody say Dirk's name, that's all it's going to take. Somebody with a rap, somebody telling, somebody from OTF.
And once those statements become official courtroom testimony, Dirk's whole brand becomes toxic. And listen, Dirk has always worn his pain with his music, losing D-Thing, losing King Von, losing his father to the feds. But now, he might lose everything else. Because even if he walks free, which is still a massive if, he'll be walking back into a world where his name no longer means power. It means paranoia, where every artist wonders, is Dirk safe to stand next to anymore? And if he doesn't walk free, if he loses, Chicago loses.
Well, he got a lot. He bring a lot of spotlight to the city. He give artists his features. It's a lot that he doing, folks.
Dirk isn't just a rapper. He's a pipeline.
But the only upside of that is that he was only giving allegedly features and things like that to guys who were like BDs. Apparently he didn't really do anything for anybody in Chicago who claim GD or anything like that. You know, so I wouldn't just say he helped Chicago like that. It don't look like that. See, I wouldn't say none of those Chicago rappers in Chicago help any of the Chicago rapper. The way like you see rappers in Atlanta doing, you don't see man. Come on, did you see it with Kanye West? No, no. You didn't see it with Lil Durk? No. You don't see it with G Herbo? No. You know, you don't see it with Chief Keef. The only guys they be putting on is the guys that's in their circle that ran with the same guys. You know, they had to run with each other cliques or whatever like that. It wasn't like they were going around Chicago putting on other cliques like that in the music industry or nothing like that. It wasn't like they were trying to drop alleged beef with their so-called ops and things like that to help them get on. Nah, bro, it wasn't like that. Because if it was, FBG Duck could still be with us. You feel me? And he probably was more of a drill rapper than Lil Durk. You feel me? So FBG Duck would still be here. You know, if it was really like that. So no. Chicago is not doing, you know, a lot of what Atlanta is doing. Man, Jacksonville don't even do that. Jacksonville be more on like what Chicago is doing, bro. They only put on certain ones who got the hype in their you know, representative cliques. You know what I'm saying? Probably the only city I do something like that outside of Atlanta is maybe LA. Bro, Los Angeles, bro, Compton or something like that, bro. They probably be the only ones that I would think, you know, kind of like simulated the formula that Atlanta did with helping up, you know, their other, you know, whether they had a name or not, rappers get on. You know, that's how you think Bloody J came in the picture, man. Bloody J came in the picture because of like Young Thug and Life and Lucci and stuff like that. Trouble, all these guys, bro. Alley Boy, all them guys, bro. A lot of them. You know what I'm saying? So I think LA is probably the only, you know, city that come close to doing like what Atlanta is doing. So I ain't gonna say I don't agree with when chicks say, you know, Lil Durk was putting on other people or not chicks, but Take Capone was saying that Lil Durk was putting on other people in the city, bro, because he wasn't, bro. He was just doing that with BDs and other cliques that he was cool with. You know what I'm saying?
A gatekeeper. He opened doors for dozens of kids to escape the trap. Literally.
My bad, y'all. I ain't gonna stop it. But because you never heard anybody putting on a P-Stone or a four-corner hustler in the music industry. You know what I'm saying? You never heard, you haven't heard of him putting on a Gangsta Disciple yet in the music industry or anything like that. So no, hell no, bro.
Now the streets are bracing for the worst case scenario. Dirk behind bars. OTF dissolved. The culture abandoned. Because if you take away the music and leave behind only indictments, the message to the next generation becomes clear. Don't rap, don't rise. It's all coming down anyway. Let's not forget, this isn't Dirk's first legal run-in, but it is his most serious. And what separates this case from all the others? Witness cooperation. That's what the feds didn't have before, but they've got it now. OTFD, possibly OTF Jam, possibly more. And the prosecutor's strategy is clear. Build a mountain of truth, even if every rock is chipped and cracked. If they can get enough people to say Dirk knew, even without hard proof, they can convince a jury he was the brain behind it all. That's how Rico works. That's how Young Thug got stuck. That's how GS9 fell. And now, that's how OTF might die. But here's the twist. There's still one wild card. Dirk himself. Because while everyone else talks, he doesn't. While everyone else points fingers, he stays silent. And while the prosecution builds its narrative, Dirk is still crafting songs, recording lyrics that double as emotional confessions and legal liability. And that may be the final irony. The very music that made him star could be the evidence that takes him down. Because even though the court removed lyrics from...
And that's what I was telling y'all, bro. Like, it's all been his music. You feel me? The things that Lil Durk was saying in his music, it was brought on the indictments, bro. It's what got the feds to look into certain things due to M1s in Chicago, due to the unalignment of Lil Pab cousin and things like that, bro. That interview that Lil Durk did with DJ Academics, you know, was definitely along with the statement that Brick Baby said when he was talking to, I believe it was Poetic Flacco at one point. But those two things right there, Dirk interview with DJ Academics and Brick Baby comments to Poetic Flacco was got the ball. I ain't gonna say rolling, but it damn sure sped it up for them to put it in the spotlight. You know what I'm saying? Because had it not been for that DJ Academic interview, had it not been for that Brick Baby, those comments he made to Poetic Flacco, like I think that everything would have just now been starting. Probably about early on this year or right after Christmas. So I think he would have been home for Christmas. You feel me? I think Lil Durk would have been home for Christmas. But they went and got him solely off his music, for one. That was number one, because they really felt like he implicated himself in the M1 in his own music. They really felt like they really felt like his music presented the orders to get the ball rolling for Lil Paul to be unalive. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if it wasn't for his music, yeah, Lil Durk probably been just now getting arrested, bro. If it wasn't for his music, Brick Baby, and his comments on DJ Academics.
Indicted once. That doesn't mean they're not listening, not the fans, not the feds, not the future. So the only question left is, can OTF survive without Dirk? Can the label, the brand, the movement live on if its face, its founder, and its fire is silent? Or does everything, music, money, legacy, die with the next testament? Because now, it's no longer about bars and beats. It's about survival. And survival doesn't favor the silent. Thanks for watching. Check out our other video.
What's up, man? Yeah, man. Like, look, with the OTF, yeah, it's definitely gonna fall without his brand. Is definitely gonna fall without him. Just like my Grind to Win brand would fall without me. You know what I'm saying? The OTF brand, the record label, all that will fall, because there hasn't been anybody outside of King Von who could produce musical hits. You know what I'm saying? So without that happening, yeah, Lil Durk, OTF brand, record label, all that is out the window. And that's just what it is, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I think the only way he can save himself is by opening his mouth right now. I don't think there's nothing else, because some of those guys in his camp is gonna tell on him. So what it is that Lil Durk have information that he can speak on, that right there, your number one favorite blonde homie do not know. But Lil Durk definitely gonna have to give the feds something if he want to get out this, because they definitely gonna keep him in there. You know what I'm saying? And without the other members on the record label, producing any music or hits that the fans want to listen to, that's gonna be a downfall for him. You feel me? That's gonna be a downfall for him, definitely. I think the only people right now that's helping Lil Durk is his record label. I mean, like I think he sounds to like, I think OTF is up under like Alamo or something like that. So I think Alamo or Atlantic or something like that is really what's backing him right now. That's what's keeping him sufficient, like as far as in funds, keeping Drew Fiddle in the picture and things like that. I'm not saying all Lil Durk money is drained or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, if for Lil Durk to get out there, he gonna need that type of backing. You know what I'm saying? If he gonna continue to keep his mouth closed and not say anything, he gonna need those type of resources, those type of funds. You know what I'm saying? Because Drew Fiddle is not a cheap lawyer, and if he do end up beating, and I don't want to see you know, I don't want to see him brought down because of his music lyrics. You know what I'm saying? If you know he did have anything to do with Lil Pop, which we all know, you know, that if you pay attention to, you know, the music, hip hop, things like that, you know, that you definitely know he had an issue with Quando Rondo and things like that, man. But um, yeah, if he didn't put it in the music, I don't think he would be. I don't think he would be having these problems right now, man. If he didn't have some of those guys around him right now, and it seemed like a lot of those guys was just like yes man, bro. That's why I don't like. That's why I keep do. That's why the fellas around me that I stay in touch with, that I stay in tune with, bro, they gonna tell me when I'm full of shit. You know what I'm saying? They gonna let me know, bro. That hey, that's messed up, bro. Don't do that, bro. That's wrong. But you know what I'm saying? Like, and without Lil Durk having somebody like that, bro. Like, yeah, like power get to you, bro, because you feel like nobody can check you. Because I don't know why they feel like the money make them the man, bro. I don't know why they feel like the money make them the man, bro. The money give them the power, bro. You should already have the power before you get the money, bro. You know what I'm saying? The money just supposed to be an accessory, bro, an accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? Or a necessity. You feel me? And with somebody with Lil Durk position, the money was supposed to be able to, you know, change lives of somebody like OTF Jam, DD, and all you got. Like, bro, he should have just kept them. He should have had them in the studio, man. Like, oh, y'all, like for real, y'all. He should have just had them in the studio, bro. He should have had them in the studio, bro. And he should have had paid legit security guards as his security. You feel me? Somebody that tell him, nah, man, I ain't finna go to no damn California and commit no M1 for you, bruh. No. You know what I'm saying? So, I just think, bruh, as rappers, some of these rappers need to own up to their responsibility, bruh. You know, to their own actions, bruh. Admit to the things that they say in their own music, bruh. Because, I mean, if you said it once in your music, you should be able to say it when it's time for you to take responsibilities for your actions. You feel me? But to any of my younger, you know, rappers or melodic rappers, you know, supposedly drill rappers or whatever it is you're gonna entertainment and music industry, bro. If you're gonna tell stories that you're not a part of. You know, or stories that's not gonna incriminate you. I implore you to, you know, um, tell your story as best you can lyrically without the implications of certain things that are deemed to be like, you know, open cases or something like that, unsolved cases or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna be a lyricist, man. It's plenty of guys out there to study from. Y'all don't have to study from the Lil Durks, the King Vons and stuff, bro. You. I ain't one of this. You know, I don't listen to them like that. But you can study from guys like Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Lil Wayne, uh, Cameron, Jadakiss, Fabulous, bro. Fabulous. He don't get the credit that he deserves, but Fabulous is a great rapper. Ace Hood, another great rapper, man. You know what I'm saying? If you guys don't know how to put your stories in lyrical form, bro, listen to some of them guys, man. You feel me? The TIs. You know, listen to the TIs, bro. Listen to let me see somebody else. The Absols. You know what I'm saying? Absols. You feel me? Even listen. Hey, listen how shit. Listen how Drake do some of his stuff. You feel me? It's just it's according to how you know play words or stuff. You feel me? And I don't think Lil Durk did a good job at, you know, wording his lyricism, bro. He left too many questions um unanswered, or too many questions for the feds to want to be answered either by him or his crew, bro. And that what got him held up in a lot of this mess, man. So want y'all to know, man, hey, this is just all alleged for your education purposes. Not education, but entertainment purposes. You know what I'm saying? You know, use it how you want to use it. But I appreciate you guys for chilling with your number one favorite blind homie, man. You know, before we get out of here, let's see if we got anything else going on in here.
Welcome to Live Chat. Expect Steve Bano. Happy made up holiday by humans.
I ain't gonna forget that, bro. Trust.
Steve Bano. Happy made up creator tools.
So, hey man, I want everybody to enjoy, you know, the 4th of July. You know what I'm saying? And if you can, please put down in the comments for me, man. What's your favorite uh off the grill 4th of July meal? You did? So please make sure you guys hit that like for me. Continue to subscribe. I thank you for joining me, man. I am your boy Rico Richy, man. Thank you guys for chilling with me, you know.
Finish. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Okay. YouTube.